Bill DeGelit, who is a French journalist, and you would go, wow, who's he? He was the one that was first to break the story that Manchester United had a bid agreed, or a fee agreed with Lille for Leny Yoro. So certainly, when it pertains to this story, very, very credible. He is reporting that Leny Yoro is in negotiations with Manchester United on salary conditions. Yoro has opened the door to joining United. Real Madrid are still there, but are now behind.
Yes, they are.
So that's a stark development.
Bro, this is huge news, you know.
That's a big development. As KG points out, this morning, David Ornstein kind of said when it came to all of this that United were pursuing these deals separately to each other. Progress has been achieved on both, but the current expectation is they would recruit one as opposed to both of them. Now, you kind of get the impression that United view Yoro as maybe the longer shot, and the lit as the kind of one of we can do that one fairly quickly if the Euro one doesn't happen. But for a deal that, you know, the feelings are he does just Real Madrid. He's only going to go to Real Madrid. He's only interested in Real Madrid. That's all he wants. Not interested at all. For him now to be like, well, if I was to come to Manchester United, what kind of contract would you be getting? What's my salary looking like? That's pretty significant. Whoa. That's at least being open.
Listen, I hate to be an I told you so merchant, but...
Oh, no, you've been very much on I told you so recently. You've been right quite a lot, KG. The only problem is you don't bet on it.
And this is the thing, right? We get into this thing with Yoro, and it first came up, and... Because, you know, when we speak to the guys that do all these transfer type shows and these transfer gurus and stuff, Man United don't want to be in a situation where they can really embarrass themselves, right? There's got to be some level of indication that they're willing, they're open to. That Man United, I remember the thing, was it with Kevin Hatchard? Is that his name? Am I saying his name correctly?
Yeah.
That flexed it. And I'll never forget that part of it when it's like, look, like they remember chasing Frankie de Jong that whole summer and embarrassing themselves, really. Doesn't want to come. They want to avoid that type of situation and show it's a clean slate, it's a new slate, and Ineos is totally different. Well, then, when we now entered the race for Leny Yoro, I thought, that's interesting. Considering everything that it's like, I'm Real Madrid bound, this is very interesting. Why have Man United done this? What indications have they been given by the Euro camp that there's willing to have talks? And if you go in a chronological order, the main part is, well, we put in a bid, and then there's the tweet from the fake Euro account. The fake Euro account. I love it. But there's a tweet from the fake Euro account, and it's like, Man United basically, leave me alone, and he comes out and says, that's lies. And he says, calls him a psycho or something like that. And from that moment, again, if you're like me, that's cup half full. I would say cup half full, almost running over. Yeah. What do we do?
We're playing that game, you know, when you just the little drips into it. You've seen that one on social media.
I'm that guy. I looked at news like that and I thought, oh, so we have a chance. Oh, we're really in this. My immediate thought was, we are really in this. And I did a Owen special. I started looking at people that have Real Madrid accounts, and I started bookmarking some of the things they were saying. That's Owen special. I didn't really and that's probably why I had a little feeling of confidence, but we can get into the breakdown of things here, but what's going through your mind right now? Because we kind of broke it down the chronological order. Could he come here? Yeah. Like, how do you feel about this move?
You know what? I was talking about this morning, and this is my perception of Manchester United in the transfer market has actually changed quite a lot over the last few weeks, because I've seen people naturally assuming we can and can't do things based off the past, which is only natural. That's logical to do that. What happened in the past shapes how you would think it's going to happen in the future. The problem is our point of reference has changed, hasn't it, KG? Because we look at how we operated in the past with different people, and we're assuming these new people are going to be operating in the same way as the old people, and that doesn't really make a lot of sense. We've already seen improbable things happen in the last few weeks. I always bring it back to this one. Dan Ashworth, he's not meant to be here at the moment.
Yes.
Definitely not going to be this transfer window. It's not going to happen. He was in Norway yesterday for Man United on pre-season tour. He's doing deals. He's actively involved in this transfer. Omar Barada, no one had heard anything. And suddenly it was just, he's CEO. He's going to start in July. He's there now too. You know, Christopher Vaval, that was another one. That came out of nowhere, didn't it? Just Christopher Vaval, he's going to start. Oh, Jadon Sancho, he could play on Saturday in Edinburgh in a Manchester United shirt. That was impossible a couple of weeks ago. Absolutely no way. No chance. Particularly when he was at Dortmund. He's never coming back. That's not going to happen. Now, we'll talk about it later on. Let's talk about, well, he could definitely stay. There's someone that's a real possibility. So we're not in the position, I think, anymore to be like, no chance, rule it out. In the past, we would have. To your point, if it's the same people, if it was John Murtough and all those other people involved, you'd go, I've seen you chase a player around Europe for an entire summer and nothing happened. I'd be just as skeptical. But I'm with you. I look at it and say, they must. I mean, these are pretty competent people at their jobs. That's why you've brought them in. Yeah. They must have had at least the slightest inkling that this wasn't impossible. And I do rate the fact that they've analysed it and gone, it's not impossible. And then they've backed themselves to go, we think we can get it done.
We can do it.
And it's not even like laughable like John Murtough, I think we can get it done. You know, you go, come on, John. You can't though, can you? You know what I mean? You know, you're going to be back at the airport in an hour, go, didn't work out. You know, it's not like that. They're like, we think we can get it done. They're talking salary.
This is where it gets even more interesting, right? Because you missed out a deal that I think is like pertinent in this discussion. When you talk about AC Milan's plans was never, we're going to sign Morata. It was never to sign Morata.
Yeah.
Never. That was not. Guess what we're going to do? They had Xerxes again. He's a big fan of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and apparently he was like not like heir to the throne, but they created this link. And the rollout would have been fantastic. That's why Zlatan was the first one to speak and saying, we're going in another direction. Man United, if you go back to old Xerxes comps and highlights, all you can see is welcome to AC Milan, Forza, all this other stuff that they do, right? And suddenly, Man United get in there. But then AC Milan are ahead because they've been working on a deal for a long time. Man United have managed to bring in the young player of the year in what is it? Bologna's young player of the year.
Under 23 Serie A player of the year, and Bologna's top goal scorer, and they qualified for the Champions League. Mental.
That's what Man United were able to do. They got ahead of the queue and said, "We'll have him, please." Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that is great because before. We'd embarrass ourselves. We wouldn't get there first. And especially if there's another club involved. Remember, we always said, if somebody else wants him, forget about it.
Yeah, that was
that one? Yeah. Now, we're talking about being able to get involved. And it's not happened yet. This is all subject to Real Madrid could make a wicked move. Now, don't get it twisted. Real Madrid have got to handle Mbappe and the price and package, everything that comes with Mbappe. I don't know if they got blow us out the water money. So it's like Real Madrid are going to be the arrogance that they had. Man United used that against them almost by going to the parent club and saying, "Hey, we respect you guys. We would love to have this talent here, and we think we should give you what its going rate is." If Real Madrid think about you the same, they would do it too. Because they were able, when it was in the time, they wanted to move heaven and earth for Mbappe. And they've moved heaven and earth for a lot of the signings before. We see you differently. You should come here. And I think where we get into the Ligt story is we was always arguing about who starts if you come here. Who starts? And if we don't sign both of them, there has to be something along the lines of assurances